Hello everybody, welcome to this instruction video. In this video I'll be showing you how to make week 4 or block 4 of the Circles of the Sun crochet along designed by Tatiana from Lilla Bjorn Crochet. I'll be using a 3mm crochet hook and Scheepjes cotton 8 yarn to make this granny. The original pattern you can find on Tatiana's website, Lilla Bjorn Crochet, and we're of course making Circles of the Sun mystery crochet along. I'll also post a link in the description where you can find this pattern, the original description. I'll be taking you step by step through this design. Again, a very lovely, sunny, bright design. I hope this is a useful video for you. Thank you for watching. Round 1. We're again starting with a magic ring. And we're going to work double crochets in the ring. 12 in total. So the first one is a chain 2, just like before, and now we work 11 more double crochets in the ring, and I'll show you how to close this with a needle join using a needle, and in the next round I'll show you how to close a needle join using your hook. Goes 1, 2, 3 of the 11, 4, 10, and then this is number 11, so plus that chain 2 gives you 12. I'm going to close the magic ring by pulling tight, like so. Then we cut off and pull through. Let me just quickly find my needle, which I of course did not. There you go. Put your needle on your hook. So through this is the chain 2 here. So through that first stitch, pull through, and then enter in through the top of the stitch. See how I have it there at the top? If you look at it from this side, see it like this. You can really enter into your magic ring stitches already, like so, and pull through. And then just fashion it a little bit, especially the first one. You really need to just fashion a bit because it's so small still. And then you can work away your tail, and you're done with round 1, and you have 12 stitches here in total. Round 2. For this round we're going to be working 2 double crochets in each and every stitch. So we're making an increase. You can start in any position you like, and we're also going to not be working in the entire stitch but only in the back loops. So take note, you're increasing only in the back loops here. So I have my hook here on the back loop of any stitch, doesn't matter which stitch, and pick up a loop. Chain 2, this is for your first double crochet, and then work a second double crochet in that same stitch. And you're going to continue like this all the way around. So in the back loop of each and every stitch, so I have the back loop there, work a double crochet and also a second. So 2 double crochets on the back loop each stitch. Go all the way around, and then I'll show you how to close with an invisible join using your hook. I've worked 12 times 2 double crochets, so that's 24 in total. You cut off your yarn and open up the stitch where you just were. To close, go to the first proper stitch, so not the chain 2 but the stitch directly next to it. Pick up and pull through. Then through the back loop of your last stitch, pick up that loop again and pull through. That completes your invisible join. You can either work away this thread or hold it to the back of your work and work over it in the next round. Just going to shape it a little bit, especially these first few rounds. You still need to help a little bit. And that completes round 2. Round 3. This round we're again going to be working in the back loops, and we're going to be making treble 3 togethers. You can start in any position on the first double crochet of a double crochet increase. So here's an increase, so you take this first double crochet and then of course the back loop like we usually do, and attach a new color yarn. I'm going to start with one single crochet, which is of course a chain 1. Now we're going to make a treble 3 together, and we're going to make it in the loop from round 1 immediately underneath where we are at the moment. So if I just quickly get my needle to show you that, see, this is the stitch where you are right now, so directly underneath is going to be that stitch there, and you're going to make a treble 3 together in that stitch. So that's twice over, and then come down and into that front loop. Sorry, just need to, yep, there we go. And take off 2 loops 2 times. That's the first treble, or at least the first half of it. And do that for a second one also. 2, and also for a third treble. Like so. And 1, 2. Now you have 4 loops on your hook. You're going to take them all off in one go. Note here that you're making this treble all 3 legs you're doing in the same stitch, and make sure they're nicely positioned next to one another. Now we're going to come back up to round 2. We're not going to skip any stitches, so note that was the last stitch worked in, so this is the next stitch we're now going to make a single crochet in. It's going to be, and of course still only in the back loop. So work a single crochet and also a second single crochet. So those are 2 single crochets on 2 stitches, and now you work an increase in the next stitch. So those are 2 single crochets, like so. That's your repeat unit. You're going to do this in total 6 times, so to go all the way around. I will show you once more. We start with a single crochet, like so. And now we're again going to make a treble 3 together, and this is the stitch we're in right now, which means we're going for this loop here, and you'll notice that there's a skip loop between these 2, so that's also a check for you. Make sure there's only 1 loop in between. So if you've got 2 loops, there's a mistake somewhere. You have no loops, also a mistake somewhere. Skipping 1 loop. So that was 1 single crochet, and then come down and work a treble 3 together through that loop. And that is first leg, and leg number 2 and number 3. Working from bottom to top when you insert your hook, so from this direction. 4 loops on your hook, take them all off. Now we come back up. Note this is the last stitch worked in. Let me just show you this stitch here. So now this is the next stitch we're going for. Work 2 single crochets. So that's 1, 2, and on the next stitch work an increase. So that's 1, 2, and then you're all the way around. You can fashion these trebles a little bit if you like, and you're all the way around and close with a needle join on that first stitch. Round 4, we're going to start in any treble 3 together from previous round, so it doesn't matter where you start. I'm going to pick this one. So start in the treble 3 together in the treble itself on the back loop. So again, we're working back loops here, and pick up your yarn like so. I'm going to start by working 3 single crochets. The first one is of course a chain 1, and then work 2 more single crochets. So that is 1 and yes, no, sorry, I thought I split my yarn and I split it again. There we go, through the entire stitch, yes, the entire thread I should say. 2 single crochets with the chain 1 is 3. Now we're going to work a treble, and we're going to work it in this loop from round 1, in this loop here, so that you've skipped between the groups of trebles that you made before. So, and also note one thing, don't work this treble that you're going to make here too tight, because you want your circle that you're making to stay flat, so that's important. So I'm going to work a treble in this stitch here. So that's twice over, and come down to this loop, pick up, and bring it up to your working level. 2, 3, and I've done this reasonably loose, so you can see that I make sure that my circle stays flat. Now on round 3 you are going to skip a stitch, so that's the last round stitch worked in. Skip this stitch here, and then on the next stitch, it's going to be this one here, work a single crochet, 1, and work a second also, 2. That's your repeat unit. I'm going to do this all the way around. I'll show you the repeat once more. So we're going to start on the treble and work 3 single crochets, and that is 1, 2, and 3 single crochets. Now I'm going to work a treble in between the 2 trebles from the we've done before on that skipped stitch from round 1. Work this treble reasonably loose so as to make sure that your circle stays flat. Skip your next stitch, so that's the stitch worked in. Skip this stitch here, and then make 1, 2 single crochets, and then you're at the beginning of the next repeats again. So continue like this, go all the way around, close with a needle join on that first stitch, and take care not to work this round too tight. Round 5, we're going to start in any treble stitch around, doesn't matter which one. I'm just going to take this treble here, and again working only in the back loop of that treble. Pick up your yarn, and this round we're going to be making half double crochets. Do note, because it's easy to make a mistake here and just go autopilot and do double crochets. We're going to start with an increase. So our first is a chain 2 for our first half double, and then in that same loop make a second half double crochet. Now we continue and make 2 half doubles on the next 2 stitches. So that's 1, yes, and 2. That's your repeat unit right there. So you're going to do this in total 12 times to go all the way around. Show you again. The next stitch you work an increase, so that's 2 half doubles in the 1 stitch, followed by 2 half doubles on 2 stitches. 1 and 2. And that brings you to the next treble again. So continue like this, go all the way around and close with a needle join on that first stitch. Round 6. This round we're going to be making V stitches again, not unsimilar to what we've made previously in this project. We're going to start on any half double crochet increase that's directly above a treble 3 together. So you see this treble 3 together, then go up, you see here this increase. And then we need the second half double crochet of this increase. So if you look closely, it'll be this stitch here. You see these are the increase, and then again the back loop, because we're again going to be working only in back loops of this round. So attach your yarn with a slip stitch, and we're going to start with 2 single crochets. Of course, the first single crochet is a chain 1, and then a second single crochet. Now we're going to be working trebles, and I'll show you just exactly where we're going to make them. We're going to make a treble 2 together, and we're going to make them in this loop here. See, this is the treble, and you're going for the loop that's directly above it. That's going to be this loop here, and then you're going to skip 2 stitches, 1, 2, and then the next leg is going to be on the treble here. So the one will be on the treble 3 on the treble itself from the previous rounds, and this one will be in the stitch that's on the treble 3 together. So that'll be this stitch here. If it's easy for you to remember, remember you're working one leg on the treble, and there should be 2 loops in between. So that means this has to be the loop that we're going for. So this can maybe be an easier checkpoint for you than these loops here. So twice over for the treble 2 together, and thinking, okay, this is the second leg, 2 stitches between, and this is the loop here that I'm going for. And of course you need to come slightly back to really get into that, there we go, into that loop, like so. And we'll take off 1, 2 times, then twice over again, skip 2 stitches, so that's going to be 1, 2, and the next one should then be on the treble itself in that front loop, and take off 1, 2 times, 3 loops on your hook, take them all off. Now we can come back up to round 5. We're not going to skip any stitches. It means this was the last stitch worked in, so that's going to be the next stitch we're going for now. I'm going to make 4 single crochets. So not skipping any stitches. Work 1, 2, 3, 4 single crochets. You can see how you've made your first V. Now we're going to again make a V with a treble 2 together, and we're going to be working them in this same loop where we just were, this loop from there that's immediately above the treble, and then of course skipping 2 stitches, and this is going to be the second position for our leg, which is again directly above this treble group here. So this position and that position. So twice over, into that loop that already contains one leg of a V. Take off 1, 2 times, twice over, skip 2 stitches, and work the second leg of that V, like so. Take them all off. Now we're going to come back up to row 5. This time we're again not going to skip any stitches. So whoop, this was the last stitch worked in, so this is the stitch we're going for. I'm going to make 2 single crochets. So taking that thread with me, work 1, 2 single crochets, and that brings you to the beginning of the repeat unit again. You can see how you're making 2 V's on each repeat. Just show you the start of the next repeats again. So we're again going to make 2 single crochets, and as you check, your next stitch, that's going to be this stitch, should be the second of an increase that's above a treble 3 together. So that's a check to just make sure that this stitch is indeed the beginning of the repeat unit. So that is 1, 2 single crochets. Now I'm going to work a treble 2 together, and indeed again already one loop or one leg was already in that loop, so we're going to make a second in there. Make sure you make it nicely to the left of it, if you're left-handed of course to the right, so that you don't have them crossing. That's the first half, and then the next one should be on this treble here with of course 2 loops in between. 1, 2, take them all off. You come back up to row 5, do not skip any stitches. So immediately on the next stitch, work 4 single crochets. That's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And now you're ready to work the last V of the repeat, which is again going to be on this position on that treble where you already have one leg in there. 1, 2, twice over, skip 2 loops, and then in that third loop, which is again above the treble, or the treble 3 together, I should say. Take them all off. Do not skip any stitches. So that's the next stitch you should go for, and work 1, 2 single crochets, and then you're again at the start of the next repeat. So continue like this, go all the way around and close with a needle join in that first stitch. Round 7, you can see how this lovely design is already taking shape. Round 7 is again a background round. I'm going to start on the top of any treble 2 together that we just made, so it doesn't matter, take your pick. I'm going to start in this one here, and again only in the back loops. And I'm also going to take that third loop with me, you can see there, just to prevent getting any holes in my work. And we're going to start with a double crochet increase. So the first is a chain 2, of course, followed by a second double crochet in this same stitch. Oh, I just split my yarn. Bother. There we go, yes. And a second double crochet. Now the next 4 stitches work a double crochet. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's your repeat unit, which means it's actually very easy to remember. On any treble stitch you work an increase, and on the 4 stitches in between you work a double crochet. So this round's really should be doable for you. Go all the way around and close with a needle join on that first stitch. Round 8. This round we're going to be squaring up what we've made up till now, and this is going to be very similar to all other squaring ups that we've done up till now. So we're going to start in, again, back loops on any double crochet increase. So I'm just going to pick this one, and the second double crochet of the 2. So the second double crochet of an increase, back loop, and pick up your yarn. And now we're going to work 6 single crochets. And the first one is of course a chain 1. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Yes, 6 single crochets, followed by a half double crochet. This is exactly the same as we've done many rounds before. A half double, 2 double crochets, so that's 1 and 2 double crochets. On the next 2 stitches, 2 trebles. So this is your first treble and your second treble. And now on the next stitch you're going to work 2 trebles in the same stitch. And then you're at the corner. That's 1 treble and then a second in the same stitch. And so, yes. Now chain 2, and then we can do exactly the same but in reverse order. So that is chain 2, 1, 2, and this in reverse order to make the corner complete. It's twice over, and on the next stitch, again only still working in back loops, make 2 trebles. That's 1 and 2. And the next 2 stitches work 1 treble in each. So that is 1 and 2. Now 2 double crochets on the next 2 stitches. So you can see the logic here, that you're making each stitch just one smaller. 2 double crochets and 1 half double crochet. And then you're at the beginning. Yes, there we go. And then you're at the beginning of the repeat unit again. So at this point here you would now start again with 6 single crochets. That's your repeat unit, and you can see how you've made your first corner. Do this all the way around, so for 4 corners in total, and close with a needle join in the first stitch. Round 9, the last round of the granny, on the outside at least. You're going to start in the first single crochet. You have here 6 on any edge. It doesn't matter which edge you start. That first one is the one you're going for. I'm going to make 6 single crochets. Oh, sorry, no, we're going to make 12 single crochets. And we're starting in the first position of the 6 from the previous round. Again, only the back loop. And then the first one is of course a chain 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 12. And at this point you should have 1 stitch left, and that 1 stitch on the back loop to work a half double crochet, and then you can move into the corner itself. In the corner you work 2 double crochets. So 1, 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 more double crochets. Now you're ready for this edge here. To start with a half double crochet on the first stitch. Make sure you don't accidentally skip that stitch. That's this stitch here. See, it's immediately after the corner, and it might be hidden by your corner stitch. Just make sure you get into that first stitch, back loop, work a half double crochet. And now we're going to work 6 single crochets, which will bring us to the beginning of the repeat unit again. It's 2, and 3, 4, 5, and there we go, 6. And you see this single crochet here is again the first of 6 single crochets. So that's your repeat unit. So you're going to make 18 until you get to the other side, where you're going to make the last one on this half double crochet here. So go like this all the way around, close with a needle join on the first single crochet. If you want to, you can now work a round of decorative slip stitches along the edge of round 7. So I'll just show you how to do this. Between the posts of the stitches of round 7, doesn't matter where you start, insert your hook through so between the posts to the back, and pick up your yarn. And now you're going to work slip stitches from 1 between the posts. Between the next 2 posts, pick up your yarn from the back, work a slip stitch. Next one, between the posts, and slip stitch. Do not work these rows too tight, because slip stitches have reasonably little movement in them. So, and like this, you're going to go all the way around each and every stitch, and when you get to the beginning, close that with a needle join, and I'll quickly show you how to do that as well. So continue like this. You can see how you're making this lovely round here of slip stitches just inside the edge from round 7. So almost completely round, just making the last slip stitch between these 2 posts and stopping just before the last one, because that one we're going to be doing with the needle join. So I'm cutting off my yarn, pulling through, opening up. This last one I'm doing with the needle. On this last stitch, on the first stitch, sorry, I should say, move your yarn through. You see the first half of your stitch forming, and through that last stitch you worked, and complete your needle join. To the back, tie a knot in your yarn, the first and the last piece. Tie a knot, work away these threads, and that brings us to the end of week 4. And if you just take a moment to look at what we've made, you can see you've made a lovely little granny with stars and bubbles, and it's really a very sunny design. I want to thank you for watching. I hope this was a useful video for you, and until the next time.